Is it recording? There we go. Okay, this is Bill and Ellen from Pennsylvania, and we're talking to them about.
We're talking about overhead projectors and your new design for an electronic overhead projector. And in higher education, particularly vocational industrial education, here at Penn State University, I encourage classroom teachers who taught occupational skills to use the overhead projector because it was a way to take a concentrated object and show it to a large group and use it as a point of explanation, question and Q&A, question and answers. And one of the things that I know in all of education, it's important for your students to stay with you. So when you can concentrate in the use of a teaching device and have your students not have to keep switching back and forth and can look at what you want them to see. And it sounds to me like your project will allow me to point exactly at what I want you to see.
So you're saying to focus them on one thing at a time.
One thing at a time, right. And three-dimensional objects oftentimes are hard to get into a two-dimensional device like a computer, but with an overhead projector, you can take a brick, you can take a silicon device, you can take a receiver, you can take a drawing, and show it simultaneously to 100 or as many students as you can imagine. So either in my house or probably one of the newest delivery systems or newer delivery systems is people studying now at home and doing it via the internet. And it sounds to me that it's one way that if I need to show something that has substance to it, it'd be a lovely way to integrate it into streaming.
Remote education.
Remote education.
You know, Chuck could do that. Our son-in-law is a graphic designer, and he's teaching graphics online.
Yep.
And he could
on the how-tos.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he could put it on
with pen and ink and color.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, I'll be very interested in showing this to him.
Oh, very good.
Having him look at it.
We gave, as I was saying, we gave a presentation, and we had CD, all things, and we had a hope that they had equipment that would work. If we had it on our computer and had that thing, we could just go and show it as long as there was a screen.
Yeah, you're self-contained.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
Instead of having to have all these people have to come and say, well, now you have to push this, this, and this, and connect this. So that sounds very useful.
So as long as it's easy to use and self-contained.
Ease, reliable. That's a real word in any tool. And I'll just talk about education right now. Is if you don't have to get lost in learning how to use the technology, but allow the technology to work for you, it makes the product really very viable and interesting. And to people who don't want to become technologists, but just want to deport their specialty.
Especially with teachers, they want to teach and they want to communicate with their students.
They don't want to spend a long time learning how to operate the system.
Yep.
You know, my daughter and son-in-law that do distance education, they had to go to school to learn how to use the program to interact with their students online.
Your product makes me think of the comment is where a teacher says, well, let me show you.
It's a show and tell.
Exactly.
Right.
And now they have a way of taking something three-dimensional and showing it to again, an individual or to a group.
Now another I don't say feature, let me get your feedback on this. A feature is because it's all digital, you can take a high definition photograph as well as video record your conversation of what's under the camera. How valuable would that be? You do things one time, like a 30-minute class, 30-minute presentation.
Right. But one time is always nice as long as that teachable moment is a repeatable moment, so that it has all the content and information in it that is useful across a strong base of people. Sometimes you're doing questions and answers and learning that are specific to that particular population at that time. So it has great use as long as it is the information that you want to present again and again and again. So many times when you're teaching, particularly skills that require manipulative intervention, you're trying to demonstrate and show it, and you accommodate in your presentation to the population that you may be talking to at that moment.
Yes, it's unique. It's specialized and personal. Okay.
That's helpful. Thank you.
You bet. Nice talking with you.
Oh, that was
I
lovely.
see it in a classroom where, let's say, a teacher teaches a subject 4 times in a day, the same thing, but each class has a different issue.
Yeah.
So she's working problems out with that particular class. She records it, and a week later, or a couple hours later, the students can go back and review their session when they saw their work being done.
You bet.
Number 2 is different. Number 3, number 4.
All right, I don't know how to turn it off.
Your product is